Howdy everyone, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the atomic undersea kingdom, is otherwise known as my back porch. It's pretty early in the morning. Well, it's not that early because the sun's up, but anyway, I'm having coffee, and Bert said I should make a video of this, so here you go. What happened is, the back porch, I'll just show you this part. You can see that brick there, okay? Well, the original brick was blown up, you know, like most of the brick in the house. So how they built it was soft used brick, okay? So it was regular 4x8 brick. And I'm going to try to talk and make sense, but you know me anyway. It was all stacked up, and then they put like an inch and a half of cement behind it, so the wall was like 5.5 inches thick, and then they poured a cap, and it was, you know, blown up from freezing and thawing, soft brick, water getting into it anyway. So 3 or 4 years ago, I had enough energy, and I tore off the 3 sections, the larger sections. I left the 2 end sections. And what I did was, because, you know, in my head I had it that I wanted the brick to be replaced, but I couldn't figure out how best to do it with regular brick. And I didn't really want to do it anyway because, you know. So I found 5.5 inch by 8 cement pavers, you know, they're stained, right? And I used them. Well, they got a little ripply thing on the edge, so when you set them, you know, you have the gap. They bump up against one another. But they worked. It looks fine to me. Kind of an old that. I just anyway. Okay. Oh my God. So this is the whole deal anyway, and then I put these things in. I can lean over and show you these things. I put this. I don't know if I can even see it. Is it all fuzzy? What the hell? It's all fuzzy, isn't it? Focus. Focus. The damn thing's not focusing. That's because it was all the way out, wasn't it? I hit the button by mistake. Okay. I put these things in on the outside because I liked them. Alright. Can you see it? I'm looking at this upside down. There's one there. And then you go over here. And there's this big one in the middle. That's not done yet. We'll get to that in a minute, okay? And then there's one here, that one, and there's that one. And I had two of them on the sides too, the blown up sides. There's one back there. And that's one right there. Okay. Anyway, here's the work area. I'm working on it right now. Okay. Now, where do we go from here? Oh, I get up and go back over here. So that led to doing this gate project. You've seen me, you know, do a video on making this thing here, so I don't need to go through that again. Anyway. It kind of, you know, was like developed this thing that's kind of like watery plant thing, okay? So anyway, I decided, here's some photographs. Like, here's a photograph of me working on the wall here. I tore the cap off, because I poured the caps and they were really done badly, okay? I did a bad job, so I had to tear them off and redo them, okay? And then I decided to pour the wall with concrete. There's a photograph of the wall poured in solid form with it poured in concrete. I think I've got that. Okay, so then I decided I was going to do a mosaic on each of the 4 sides of this big wall. And here's the first one right here, okay? And so I went to Home Depot, and they just got, basically they got beige tile that comes in beige, okay? All the tiles in beige. And then I went to a tile shop, like a big one, a fancy one, okay? And I went in there and I said, all your tiles in beige. And he corrected me, the sales guy corrected me and said neutrals. And I said, okay. So anyway, but that's why that first one looks beigey, okay? And it's like an irradiated sea plant. It reminded me of this movie I saw, this science fiction horror movie. A little bit more complicated than when I did this one, which I don't know if you'll be able to see or not. Again, I'm just going to hold this out. Be able to kind of see that mermaid right there. There's the mermaid. It got more complicated. I'm not sure if I like her eyes, but the wife likes it, so I'm not chiseling it out and doing that over anyway. I couldn't find it. Never mind. Okay. Well, that's it. Then I showed you bitey fish, and then we're just gonna look at this one. This is the last one, right here, and that's the atomic floating brains. They're like jellyfish, okay? But what I'm doing now to show you the process, okay, is I got a friend that lent me scaffolding, okay? Here's the scaffolding I'm working from, and there's what I'm working. Oh, you can't see it now because of the sun, right? There's what I'm working on now. It's an electric eel. I'm working on an electric eel now. Okay. Electric eel. Wow, it's all wet on there. I don't want to have to sit on that. I'm going to have to sit on the wet. I'll figure something out. Anyway, what's the process though? Basically, I just stick stuff on. I have an idea in my head, and I took a scraper, a paint scraper, and I just drew it on the atomic floating brains. I didn't draw anything. That was pretty simple. But the bitey fish and the Undersea Kingdom mermaid, she has really white skin. So I went white, because if a mermaid really lives undersea, she's going to be awful pasty looking. There's not much light unless they find South Sea islands, like secluded groves in South Sea islands where they can come up and get some sun now and then. In the shallower waters, they're kind of be pretty pasty looking critters. Not at all what we think they look like. Like what's her face? That mermaid. Ethel Merman? No, that's not her. Anyway, so the porch is looking real. Oh, and then I decided I was just going to paint the caps blue. This really bright blue, which is not characteristic of me, and painting house paint. But I just wanted something undersea like. Well, this would be more like towards the surface, or that South Sea blue. So anyway, we got the blue. And I opened the can, and I put a little bit of it on, and I just shut the can right up, and I said, this won't work. This is not good. And then I looked at it for about 5 minutes, and I said, hey, this is my back porch. I could do what I want. I've been telling myself that for 25 years. You see, when I bought the house, my mother was a well-to-do realtor, okay? She knew her stuff. But as a realtor, conservative realtor, they know what most people buy, and it's not a house with blue things sitting on top of Home Depot cement brick with Undersea Kingdom mosaics. Oh, I was going to describe the process. I just break up tile and I stick it on. I have shapes in my head, and I make them shapes, and then I just stick the tile on. I think the process should be, probably if you read a book, a lot more complicated. I did use actual poly-based cement made for tile, but I don't grout anything. That's my other secret. I don't grout anything because I want the things not to blow off the wall. I'm really paranoid about that. So basically I just use the cement for everything, okay? And then when it's all done, I seal it, put a sealer on. And I got to do one on the outside, that half circle I showed you on the outside. I'm going to do that. I'm thinking about writing the Atomic Undersea Kingdom in these little white tiles on that side. I wanted to say Manic Mark's Undersea Kingdom, but that's kind of like, the wife didn't like that because it was too proprietary. Whatever, she didn't use that word. She just said, no, this is for, and it's her flowers. So it's not just Manic Mark's Undersea Kingdom, but it takes too much space to write Mr. and Mrs. Manic Mark's Undersea Kingdom. It would never fit on that side. So I had to reduce it anyway. It's just pointless of me to even fret over whether or not